What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texans football. Today, we're going to have a little conversation. We're going to talk about some things that transpired last night, and things that have been transpiring for a couple weeks now. Conversations and a lot of rumors and things of that nature. I know it's been a while, been a minute. Last time I made a video was the after the Duke Johnson trade. Like I told y'all before, I've been in and out because I've been out here coaching my son's youth football team. Offensive coordinator spits. So hey, Houston, H-Town might want to holler at your boy if you need any offensive tips. You might want to holler at me if you need any direction of what you want to do for the offense. You might want to come and call me. You know what I'm saying? Email me. You know what I'm talking about? Comment on the YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm here for you if you need help, if you need assistance. Hey, Billy O, holler at your boy. You might want to holler at your boy. But anyway, but now serious though. We're gonna talk about some things. We're gonna talk about mostly Jadeveon Clowney. I don't know if y'all read the headline, the name of the video. Y'all probably looking at me kind of sideways, and that's understandable. But I'm gonna let me make this, to use a Shannon Sharp term, abundantly clear. I don't want the Texans to trade Clowney. My preference, I prefer the Texans to strike a deal, sign a long-term deal with Clowney, understanding, knowing that they cannot sign a long-term deal right now because the trade, not the trade deadline, but the franchise deadline passed back in July. So he has to play under the franchise tag this year. No matter what team he plays for, he has to play under the franchise tag this year. I prefer him to play for the Texans, and the Texans sign him a deal and lock him up long term. That's my preference. That's what I prefer. But and I'm pretty sure a lot of Texan fans are like that. A lot of people out there, shout out to my boys out there in Sauce Nation. I don't want to speak for everybody. So if y'all, my boys out there in Sauce, Honcho, Wink, Wise, Ray, Tenny, Hector, if any of y'all feel any different, please comment below and tell me that I'm wrong. But like I said, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think that we're all on the same page that we don't want Clowney to get traded. But the things that happened yesterday, if you on that side that you don't want Clowney to be traded, that kind of took a hit last night. It really did. For a multitude of things. It's not just one thing in particular. A lot of things happened last night that made you have to sit back and we might actually have to trade Clowney. And this is the reason why. I mean, it started off called spade to spade. The offensive line looked abysmal last night. That might be the worst I've seen them look, as sluggish I've seen them look since that opening day 2017 against Jacksonville when they had 10 sacks in that game. And I think the only reason why that one looked worse is because we actually seen starters play a whole game and see them get their ass whooped a whole game. This one you didn't see starters play that much. Maybe like the starting offensive line played with like the first half or something like that. You didn't see them play a lot. So as the backups and other guys got in, it looked a little bit better. But I mean, it was still just an abysmal performance all the way around, especially that first series. And like what we doing with the whole left tackle? We had three straight preseason games with the first unit. It's not like you had 2 games with the first unit, and then like this game was like we started off with the second unit. It's like no, 3 straight games that the first line offensive unit starts, and you have your third different left tackle. I mean, you had Khalil, now you had Ryan Johnson, now you had Davenport. Like, why was Davenport getting started yesterday? Like really, what was you doing? Johnson looked good against Detroit. We want to see more. From what everybody's talking, he's looked good in camp. We want to see more. Matt Khalil looks absolute trash. He ain't practiced, it seemed like, in 4-5 months. Like, we just give him another Veterans Day off. Really? Like, why is he getting all these damn Veterans Days off? What has he proven that he needs all these Veterans Days off? Like, this is just confusing. Doesn't make any sense. Like, to a certain point, if I wasn't a Texan fan, if I was a fan of another team, I'd be looking at the Texans like, y'all some stupid motherfuckers. Like, that franchise is dumb. Like, because it's my team, I have to support, and like I'll be like, okay, I gotta give y'all reason with that. Like I'm frustrated, but I'm like, okay, maybe y'all gonna do something different. Maybe y'all gonna do something different. Maybe it's a bigger picture. I don't see no bigger picture. And if the bigger picture, somebody needs to burn that picture and try to paint another one because it makes no sense what they're trying to do. Now, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just confusing, and you're causing the cornerstone piece of your franchise in number 4, DeShaun Watson, to start his career off very, very shaky grounds because of his offensive line protection. And the second thing, now y'all know I've been harping about this secondary for the past 2 years, 3 years. And Roby has looked good during the preseason, I'm not going to lie. But I got to take that with 10 pounds of salt because it is the preseason. And he's not going up against Aaron Rodgers. He's going up against DeShone Kizer. He wasn't going up against Matt Stafford. He was going up against Josh Johnson. Now, I mean, yesterday was Dak Prescott, but it wasn't Amari Cooper out there. It was Gallup that scored a touchdown on him. So, like, he showed flashes. I mean, he's been able to like stick it. Like I say, this the receiver, this Roby. Oh yeah, he been on him, and I give him that. He's looked decent. But like I said, I take that all type of sauce. Can you do that in a regular season game? Because my issue mostly with the secondary, like I actually believe that the Texans defense overall will be a top 10 defense because they grade defenses and offenses off of yardage, and I actually think the Texans defense is going to be a defense that's not going to give up a lot of yards. My issue with the secondary is that in a close game, on a game-winning drive, like Philadelphia, like the Patriots, like Seattle, like the Colts, the first time we played the Colts, when we went to overtime, even though we won that game, how they drove and scored and got a 2-point conversion to take the game to overtime. That I'm weary of those type of situations. That's when I have zero faith in this defense as far as the secondary department, is that they'll let up big plays when you play up against Patrick Mahomes and Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan and Tom Brady and things like that. And you're going up against Mike Thomas and Mike Williams and Tyreek Hill and these other Julio Jones and things like that. We don't know what's going to happen with Cam. We about to get into luck in a minute. So I have issues and fears about those type of games and what's going to happen in that sense. That's the reason why I don't trust the secondary, because I have issues with that. But I think from an overall defense standpoint, the defense will look decent. I say that to say this, that I think the defense still will look decent and still be good enough without Clowney, if you can get a right return. Now, we've heard the reports that, it's been 10 teams interested and the Texans want a receiver. I'm like, why do the Texans want a receiver? Like, that made no sense. So I started thinking about the other day when Will Fuller stopped practicing. I'm like, well, man, maybe something happened to Will Fuller. So I'm looking, I'm checking. I haven't seen nobody tweeted out nothing. So I'm watching the preseason game. Will Fuller was there, fully dressed. If Will Fuller was hurt, he would have been out there in a shirt and shorts. He wouldn't been out. He been out there in street clothes, or he would have been out there with just like the jersey, no pads. He was out there fully dressed. He had his pad. He had all his pads on. So he's healthy enough to dress. So if he's healthy enough to dress, they're not trading Jadeveon Clowney for a receiver. And then also that would be asinine because you don't trade Clowney for a receiver unless you're trading for a Julio Jones or Odell Beckham type receiver. You're trading for a number one. If you trade Clowney for a receiver, you're trading Clowney for a number one receiver, not a number two receiver. So that makes no sense. Then Lamar Miller goes down. Now, everybody knows how I feel about Lamar Miller, but hey, prayers up to Lamar Miller. Hope that you have a speedy recovery. I mean, I don't want nobody to get hurt. I'm not an ass like that. Like I never want anybody to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing that I do not play. I don't play with people's health, and that goes for any walk of life. Like a common person, an athlete, opposing team, whatever. Like I don't play with that. Like that's something I do not play for. Like I say a prayer every time I see somebody get hurt, make sure they okay. Like that's square business. So I hate that happened to him. Even though I don't, like I said, my issue with Lamar Miller is not that I don't think he's a good running back. Just don't think he's a number one. So it leads me back to Duke Johnson. Because I like Duke Johnson. But I feel the same way that he's not a number one. I think that Duke Johnson is more skilled than Lamar Miller, but I don't think that Duke Johnson is a number one. Now, I have yet to see Duke Johnson play a number one role. That's kind of similar to Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller, when he was in Miami, did not play a number one role in the for the Dolphins. Neither did Duke Johnson for Cleveland. He might be able to do it. I highly doubt it. So now the running back situation that was already, in my opinion, was a flux coming into this offseason anyway. I want us to go after a running back during the free agency period. I want us to draft a running back. And that's before Deontay Foreman got cut and now Lamar Miller has an ACL tear. It's before that. Now you cut Foreman and Lamar Miller has ACL tear. And you bring in Duke Johnson, but you still lose two running backs. I feel that you needed a third running back when you had those two. Now you take away both of those and bring me one, I still need another running back. So you got those type of situations going on. And then the whole Andrew Luck situation. I mean, Texas fans probably like, "Oh, Andrew Luck gone. Yes. The Colts gonna suck again." All that type of stuff. Pause. The reason why I say that is because you do not want what happened to Luck 4 years from now. DeShaun Watson say, "Hey, bro, I'm good. This ain't for me. I'm mentally weak." You don't want Deshaun Watson to go through that. You don't. And like the crazy thing about the whole Andrew Luck retiring situation is that they finally got him an offensive line. They waited 7 years to do it, but he finally has an offensive line that everybody's starting to respect. I mean, Quinn Nelson, everybody thinks that he's that dude. Everybody thinks that he's that dude. And I know Colt fans and Colts like, man, maybe we should have last year instead jumping back. Maybe we should have took Sam Darnold instead of trading back. Because I mean, I don't care how good your offensive line is if you ain't got no quarterback to throw the ball. You ain't gonna win too many games. But I think if you get a wall of offensive line protection, I think the offense is so potent that if the offensive line just would be mediocre, if the offensive line would be between 12 and 16, I think Deshaun and Hop and Fuller and Kiki and DeAndre Carter and Vincent Smith and Duke Johnson, like all these slot receivers and things like that, this offense can be a elite offense if you just have a halfway decent offensive line. Because I think Deshaun is that good of a pocket passer, he can pick people apart. So now it is, what do you do with Clowney? Because I think that since they talking about this 10 teams reported and this, and this, we've been talking about Clowney trade for damn near a month now. I think the disrespect has reached a boiling point. I don't know if Clowney really wants to play here. I think he does, because I think that's the real reason why he nixed the trade to begin to go with the Dolphins. And from what I'm hearing and what I'm reporting, not from what I'm reporting, but what I'm hearing, is the Dolphins are trying to get back in the mix. I'll put it to you like this. If Clowney is all about that bag, if Clowney is completely all about that bag, he should take the deal to Miami. The reason why is because from what I've heard, Miami is willing to give up. And I've heard like Tunsil and possibly Xavier Howard if the Texans give something else back with Clowney, not just send Clowney. They ain't just sending Clowney for two players, but if they send Clowney and maybe an Aaron Colvin type, and you get Xavier Howard and Tunsil, if that's the case, Miami's going to do everything they possibly can to make sure that Clowney's the focal point of the defense. What you want to do? You want to stand up? You want to sit down? You want to lay down? You want to roll on your back? How do you want to play this defense is what they're going to be asking them. And if he does that, if he goes into a situation like that in Miami, I think that he would be a guy who gets 15 plus sacks in the conversation for defensive player of the year. Because if Clowney hits the market, when Clowney hits the market in free agency in March, he's definitely going to be the highest paid defensive player out of the free agency pool unless somebody just emerged out of nowhere this year. But he's going to be the highest paid player out of the defense, out on the defensive side this year via free agency. If he has a season like that he's having a first team All Pro in the mix in the top three, if not win the Defensive Player of the Year type award, he's going to be the highest paid defensive player of all time. Like, they're going to give him that type of bag. He's going to get paid more than Donald and McIntyre. He's going to get that bag if he puts that type of accolade, if he has that type of season. And he's better suited to have that type of season in Miami because they're going to basically, like, for lack of a better word, force feed him the ball because they're not going to have nothing else around him. They don't have Cameron Wake anymore. They don't have nothing around him, and he's going to be the center point of the defense. In Houston, you got Whitney Merciless. You got JJ, who looked damn good last night. JJ's looking like JJ type player. So he's not going to have those type. He'll win more here. Might have a bigger impact here. But from a statistical standpoint, it's like this piling up stat sheets in which that's how, people get awards is off of stats. It's a stat league. That's how people get noticed off of stats. Because he only has 9 sacks for the past 2 seasons, but his impact has been very, very crucial in very crucial situations down here. That's what type of impact he will have if he stays here, and that'll contribute to more winning. But if he's about winning and just like being up here with DeShaun and being up here with his people from South Carolina, I know him and JJ from the same hometown, and he know Hop from back in the day from being in the same state. The same thing with Rita, and he has a lot of familiarity here. He's been here since 2014. So if he just wants to stay here and he wants to win, he just want to be around this culture, I can see him nixing every trade because he wants to be in Houston. But if it's all about getting that bag, sometimes it's about going to a bad team because you're gonna pile up your stats. Because either way it go, and like they cannot sign him a contract today. He has to play this year under the franchise tag. He's going to play under the franchise tag no matter what team he plays for. No matter if he plays for the Texans, the Patriots, the Eagles, Green Bay, the Dallas Desperados and the Ring League, all that. No matter who he played for this year, he's going to play under the franchise tag. He cannot sign a contract until March. So this would be the best opportunity if he went to a bad team. That'd be the best opportunity to pile up stats, be a stat stuffer, win, be first team All Pro, be in the conversation for defensive player of the year, things like that. Then he gonna get a monster bag in March. That's if he's all about the bag. And from a Texas standpoint, if you was able to finagle, get Tunsil, and get Xavier Howard, and you giving up Clowney, yes, you taking a hit from Clowney, and you taking a hit from your pass rush. But then I think that secondary would be solidified, in my opinion. I think Roby would be decent enough, and I extremely like Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard's from Houston. He's from the city of Houston. I think he went to Hightower, if I'm not mistaken. And so I really like that secondary because Xavier Howard led the league in picks last year. I really like the corner of Xavier Howard. And then Tunsil, I think Tunsil is a better left tackle than we've had since Dwayne Brown. And that helps protect DeShaun Watson. That's the win-win situation for Houston. Any other situation, any other trade, I'm not saying that trade is going to happen. I'm just saying that would be the win-win situation. That's the only situation now I'm like full-fledged. That's a move you had to make. You had to make that move. Because like I said, I don't trust Aaron Colvin. And I don't think they trust him either. I mean, it was reported last year that they found out early on in camp last year that they made a wrong decision by giving Aaron Colvin that money. And for a guy who has guaranteed money left on the books and who's a veteran, who's supposed to be a starter, playing into the fourth quarter of a preseason game when he's playing with undrafted free agents and backups, that's not a good sign. And Colvin is the only one out. Colvin and also Jordan Thomas. Jordan Thomas be out there. I'm kind of concerned, like maybe Jordan Thomas might not make this team. Because when you're a guy who's supposed to be counting on as the top guys, like you're supposed to be in the conversation. Now you're not battling for a roster spot, going in like everybody just assumed you was gonna be on the team, and you're playing into the third and fourth quarter of a preseason game when starters got taken out after the first drive. Because I agree, once Lamar Miller went down, they took everybody out. They're like, oh, Nah, we gone. We gone. Hey, I don't care that we lose to Dallas 34-0 in the preseason game. It's preseason game. I gotta make sure everybody healthy because Lamar Miller. And then that's one of those things like, hey, like Lamar Miller been protected the whole preseason. He played one play and gets hurt. Like damn, like that. No matter how much you protect them, like that could happen in practice. Could happen opening day, first play of the game against the Saints. You just never know. So it's just injuries. Just they really be like that. So like I say, from a personal standpoint, I don't want to trade Clowney. But from seeing what's been happening, and then also the conversation, the Eagles in the mix, and this team in the mix, and there's at least 10 teams, and everybody's talking about it's a trade gonna happen within 24 to 48 hours per Michael Lombardi and things like that. I think the disrespect has gotten to a certain level that I don't know how you can save face. And now the situation, like I say, that took a hit last night for us who want the Texans to keep Clowney. Last night took a hit. How bad the offensive line looked. Lamar Miller went down. You might now people out here talking about trading for Melvin Gordon. Out here talking about clowning for Melvin Gordon, things like that. Now the way the offensive line looked, do you really want to put DeShaun Watson behind that offensive line all season? Fuck no. And then Luck retiring. On the surface, oh cool, Luck gone, baby, yeah. But you gotta think about the reason why he's retiring. He's mentally drained because he's been getting beat up for the past 7 years. Do you want that to happen to Deshaun Watson? So all these things turn up, and like I say, I might be the only one still in this minority because I really do not trust this secondary. Been saying this for 3 years. I'm gonna keep saying it because even though Roby's look good, it's the preseason. It is. He's playing against backups. I'm taking it with salt. I'm impressed. I feel better about Roby today than I did when they signed him in March. But I'm not all the way there yet. Not by the slightest. No. I'm not there all the way, but I feel better about him than I did 4 or 5 months ago. But I'm still not there. I'm like, okay, we don't need a corner. I still think that the Texans probably draft a corner with their first pick next year. If not draft a running back, if not draft a left tackle. Depending on what happens throughout this season. Depends if they go after Trent Williams, who's another guy who's running from I think they say he's staying in Sugarland. He in Sugarland right now. The Texans could trade for Trent Williams right now. He could be in NRG like as soon as he hang up the phone. Hey, hey Trent, hey, trade got done. You're Houston Texans. As soon as he hang up that phone, 15 minutes later, he on Kirby like, what's good? He's right there. He right there in your backyard. Like I say, Xavier Howard is from the city. I know he in Miami right now, but he's from the city. If you can bring some of these guys in, I guess a trade would be feasible, but it's just not looking good. Like I said, last night was a big hit for anybody who wanted to keep climbing. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell, get more videos. I'll holla.